Rajeshwari MJ. She pursued her BE in Electrical and Electronics at the People's Education Society College of Engineering, Mandya. She pursued her MTech in VLSI Design and Embedded Systems at the Sri Jagadguru Balagangadharanta Institute of Technology, Bangalore. Her personal skills lie in good verbal and written communication skills. Her areas of interest lie in OOPS with C++, renewable energy sources, HVDC transmission, digital relays, automotive electronics, advances in VLSI design. She has also had papers presented at the national level, such as the Innovative Architecture for SoC Multi-Core Hybrid Processor, presented at the RNSIT, Bangalore.
Welcome to UGC lecture series of BSc Physics Honours. Today we are dealing with the subject electronic devices. In this session we are going to study some of the topics in a session that previously we have not covered in two terminal devices and their applications. So, in this session we are going to cover about the special type of diodes. We are going to learn about tunnel diode and also another type of special diode, that is LED, light emitting diode, and the last one is varactor diode. So, let us start with the tunnel diodes. A tunnel diode is invented by Esaki, a scientist, and who is got a Nobel Prize in 1973 for inventing tunneling effect. So, by this tunneling effect we could have constructed tunneling diode with the help of this tunneling effect only we can able to construct the tunnel diodes. So, what is actually tunnel diode? How we are going to design the normal PN junction diode into an tunnel diode? How we are going to make it? So, let us see, the property of a tunnel diode is not exactly that what the common PN junction diode is. So, it is slightly different than the PN junction diode. So, tunnel diode is having heavily doped PN junction device, and also it is having some special characteristics, that is it exhibits negative resistance in between two levels of voltage is there. In between two level of voltage, that is peak voltage we call, and another one is valley voltage. In between these two voltage it exhibits negative resistance. Negative resistance in the sense when the voltage increases the current decreases. Usually for diode operation and we can apply the Ohm's law and voltage increases as the current increases. But here the negative, due to the existence of negative resistance, the voltage increases and when the voltage increases the current decreases. So, here is how the symbol of a tunnel diode looks. This is a normal diode and it is, you can look at here, we can observe here, this is a normal diode symbol and this is the tunnel diode symbol. And also we can observe the two different characteristics of regular PN diode and also tunnel diode with the help of this picture. So, during the regular PN diode in the forward bias, how it is going to happen? So, for small increase in the voltage, there is a small increase in the current will be there till here. Once it reaches the break voltage, that is when it is reached the bias voltage or potential barrier voltage, it after reaching that voltage, barrier potential voltage, the current increases abruptly for small change in the voltage. This is what the normal regular PN junction diode. For tunnel diode it is different. This is how the characteristics will be. For reference, that we just observe the picture, and these are the two peak voltage at points that we can say this is the peak voltage and this is the valley voltage. In between this we can observe the negative differential resistance, and this region is called as negative differential resistance region, where we observe the negative differential resistance. So, one by one we will observe how this waveform will be. Tunnel diode is forward bias. So, tunneling, electron tunneling is one of the effect that how this normal diode will going to work as a tunnel diode, that is when the name it is called as tunnel. So, tunneling is operation where the electrons, the free electrons will N region, that is in the conduction region, the free electrons will fall into the valence region of a p type. So, this process is called as tunneling. It is easily will fall without giving any external force, without any external voltage. The free electrons that is present in the conduction band of N type material will fall into the p type valence band. So, very first thing, that is when the P and N region are heavily doped, are highly doped, the depletion region becomes very thin. This is a basic concept we know. The two we can say it is approximately 10 nanometer when we are going to dope it heavily. When we are going to dope it heavily, we will know the depletion region will be very thin. In such cases, there is a finite probability that electrons can tunnel from the conduction band of N region to the valence band of P region. So, whenever the thick depletion region, we are these two are comparison that we are making here. For thick depletion region, the electrons, the free electrons present in a N type region in the conduction band should we can't move to the valence band of P type, because it is having a thick depletion layer, and when it is having thin depletion layer due to heavily dope, the electrons in the N type material will fall into the valence band of the P type, and this is called as electrons. The electrons tunnel through the thin barrier is possible due to heavily doping. So, and also due to the tunneling, the energy does not change. Whatever the energy that is present in the electron does not change, because the barrier is very thin. So, the electrons does not loses its energy. So, we consider the tunnel diode operation now, how the tunnel diode will operate with the different voltages. So, when the semiconductor is very heavily doped, the Fermi level goes above and the conduction band for N type and below valence band for a P type material we can observe here. This is N type entirely through this session we consider this is for N type region and this is a P type region. So, this is the Fermi level, this will go, the Fermi level will go above the conduction band for a N type material, and the Fermi level will be present below the valence band for a P type material. So, when we are going to heavily dope, this is how the energy band diagram of a tunnel diode looks. And very first step that we consider, if we won't apply any voltage, that is if we consider the forward bias condition and we won't apply any voltage, this is a VI characteristic observed. There is no current we can observe at this point of time. And next step, if we consider a small forward bias is applied, the potential barrier is still very high and no noticeable change will be occurred due to the noticeable injection and forward current through the junction. But however, we can observe the current here. This is how I will explain, because we are observing the current, it is not because of usual p-n junction characteristics, because it is a special type, there is a special characteristics, that is why we are observing current here. Due to this, why? Because the current observing is due to the tunneling effect that we are observing the current. The electrons in the conduction band of N region will tunnel to the empty states that on valence band of a P region. This will create a forward bias tunnel current, that is called as a tunnel current. During the forward bias we can observe very small tunnel current we can observe due to the tunneling effect, and it is not due to the regular p-n junction characteristics. So, direct tunneling current starts growing at this point of time. Next, with larger voltage, the energy of the majority of the electrons in the N region is equal to that of empty states in empty states holes in the valence band of the P region. This will produce maximum tunneling voltage. So, when with the increasing as the voltage is again with the larger the voltage, as we go on increasing the voltage, this will going to happen, that the energy that present in the N region and also the energy that present in the holes regions are quite opposite, and this will going to produce a maximum voltage or maximum tunneling current. So, the maximum tunneling current can be observed here when we are going to increase the voltage due to the tunneling effect. So, in the next step what will going to happen, as the forward bias continues to increase, the number of electrons in the N side that are directly opposite to the empty states, that is in the valence band, decreases. So, the number of electrons present in the N side that are directly opposite to the empty states. So, these two are opposite, that whatever that we observed in the P side and N side will directly opposite, that we are speaking about energy, the energy on both the side is opposite. So, this will going to help in decreasing the current. So, now onwards it will going to decrease, therefore, the decreasing tunneling current will start from here, after that will be decreasing current. So, this is the direct tunnel current decreasing waveform. Next, in the fifth step what happen, as the more voltage, as we are again we are going to raise the forward voltage, that current tunneling current drops to 0, but the regular diode forward current due to electron hole injection increases due to lower potential barrier. So, since it is highly doped and due to tunneling effect is possible only for certain voltage. After that again tunnel current reaches 0 and again it starts growing, again the current increases due to the normal p-n junction mode. How it is working, that we know, due to the electron hole injection the current will again start flowing in this type. So, no tunnel current at this point of time, no, only due to the diffusion current the current will be appears is due to the diffusion. Due to this diffusion action the current starts growing at this point, and now we can observe from the energy band it is not tunneling here, the electron is not tunneling, it is due to the normal electron hole injection the current is flowing. So, in the sixth step, with the further voltage increases the tunnel diode IV characteristics is similar to that of regular p-n junction. So, after once the tunneling current is comes to 0 and after that what if increase the voltage, it will perfectly works as a normal p-n junction, and the characteristics is exactly how the p-n junction will be, that is how the characteristics after a certain voltage. So, this is we can observe in the energy band diagram, where we can observe the electrons is moving from n type region from the conduction band to the conduction band of p type region to the electron hole injection. Due to this the diffusion current will present, this will helps in the increase in the current in the IV characteristics. So, from overall this step by step how we are going to increase which are the different types of current that can be exist with different types of operation, that is due to the tunneling and also the normal electron hole injection we will get different currents, that is diffusion current and as well as the tunneling current. We will observe the currents that in a VI characteristics of tunnel diode operation. So, here also we know that there are typically when we are going to speak about the VI characteristics of tunnel diode, there are two distinct characteristics that we need to note down, that is it is strongly non-linear. So, here we can observe it is from the waveform it is not linear, it is strongly non-linear, it is not like resistor characteristics, it is where resistor characteristics is linear. And also current voltage relationship for tunnel diodes can't be described using the Ohm's law. Previously I said because of NDR, that is negative differential resistance is present, we can't describe the tunnel diodes with the Ohm's law. And also it has a negative resistance region, that is what a special type of features which we can't observe in any type of other diodes. And also here two points is there, P and V. This P is called as IP, where the IP is a peak current, and if it consider VP it is a peak voltage, and this point is a where valley point, this is called a valley current and this is a valley voltage, and this a point where we can observe is a negative resistance region, where we can observe NDR, that is negative differential resistance can be observed in the negative resistance region. So, next we move on to another type of special diode, that is light emitting diode. So, LEDs we can observe, we can see everywhere that which is special type of diode, and it is also made up of p-n junction, and that works in a forward bias. Whenever the p-n junction which works in the forward bias and bias condition can emit radiation by electroluminescence in the UV, visible or infrared regions of the electromagnetic spectrum. So, in certain state this type of diode will going to emit the light that lies in the electromagnetic spectrum. We can say it is in the UV or visible light, or we can say infrared region. So, it will going to emit different rays. So, and also the symbol of this light emitting diode will appears like this. This may get confused, this is also having the arrow marks that what we studied previously in a photodiode, but here it is light emitting diode, that is why the arrow mark is away from the diode. If it is towards the diode, we can say it is a photodiode. Here it is away from the diode, that is why it is called as light emitting diode. And other than this, it is also having two terminals, anode and cathode, and same symbol as a p-n junction diode. And the quanta of light energy that released is approximately proportional to the band gap of the semiconductor. So, the band gap after semiconductor is actually proportional to the quanta, or that light energy that is released from the LED is directly proportional to the band gap it is having inside the semiconductor. So, this is how does the light emitting diode works. This is having several steps. Here a typical LED needs a PN junctions, and where there is a lot of electrons and holes at the junction due to excitation, we need to excite. So, to give a voltage, external voltage has to be do for excitation. For getting more number of free electrons and holes, we need to be excited for a normal PN junction diode. So, that is why we can observe here we have given it for excitation we have connected an external voltage. And also electrons from N need to be injected to P to promote recombination. Due to this excitation, the N type electrons will be promoted to P type. For the recombination has to be done for light has to be emitted from this light emitting diode. So, recombination is a process has to be done. So, excitation will leads to more number of free electrons and holes, and electrons from N need to be injected to the P to promote recombination. This is where the electrons is moving, this is where the holes is moving, and junction is biased to produce even more electron hole and to inject electrons from N to P for recombination to happen. So, junctions is where that we need more number of electrons and where the recombination is takes place. So, here we need more number of electrons and holes, and it has to be junction has to be properly biased. So, recombination is a process that where we know when the electrons in the conduction band falls to the valence band, it loses the energy in the form of light here. So, this light is what it may appear as a UV or infrared in electromagnetic spectrum. So, this is when the light is emitted, we can say that LED is glowing. This is how the LED works. So, due to the recombination effect, the light will emitted because the electrons, the free electron is present in a PN junction. It falls from conduction band of a N region to the valence band of a P region by releasing energy in the form of light. So, this light will be helpful in glowing this whenever the light is emitted, we can say that LED is glowing. So, next we move on to another type of diode, that is wear-actor diode. So, the wear-actor diode in the name says there is something, a variable factor is a variable factor is there for this type of special type of diode. So, wear-actor diode was named because of its variable reactor or variable reactance or variable capacitor or variable capacitance property of this diode. So, let us forget everything, we consider only the variable capacitor. So, it is having a variable capacitor in it where which is very much useful for certain applications where we need very high range of capacitance variable. So, if we need any variations of high range of variations in capacitance, this type of wear-actor diode is used. And this wear-actor diode is also a semiconductor, microwave, solid state device. It is frequently used in application where variable capacitance is desired, which can be achieved by controlling the voltage. So, by controlling the voltage, we can meet the variable capacitance requirement. So, whenever we need the variable capacitance, by controlling the voltage we can get it. So, wherever this type of application is needed, usually in a microwave we will use the wear-actor diode. So, wear-actor diode symbol looks like this, where the symbol will be like this, and in front of this capacitor symbol will be present in front of this arrow mark. And the wear-actor diode is also called as varicap diodes, and it is optimized such that they enables very high range of changes in capacitance. So, we can come up with the questions that why can't we use a PN junction diode instead of wear-actor diode, even though we can use a PN junction diode because it also exhibit the variable capacitance, but it does not exhibit very high range. So, the application of the wear-actor diode is where we need very high range of variable capacitance. So, that is why we are going for wear-actor diode instead of PN junction diode. So, wear-actor diode is again classified into some types based on wear-actor diode's junction property, and these are called as abrupt wear-actor diode and hyper abrupt wear-actor diode. Based on the junction property, it is classified as two types. One is abrupt wear-actor diode, another one is hyper abrupt varactor diode. So, how this varactor diode is working, the working of a varactor diode will be, it is typically like a capacitor. We need to know the capacitor property, we know about the capacitor property. Similar way the diode, the varactor diode will be worked. The capacitance of an electrical capacitor is directly proportional to the area of the plate. As area of the plate increases, the capacitance of the capacitor increases. This is the basic concept of a capacitor working. So, as the area of a plate increases, the capacitance also increases. So, this is how the capacitor property will be, and if we apply the same concept for a diode also, it will work same. Consider the reverse bias mode of the P diode, in which P type region and N type region are able to conduct and thus can be treated as two plates. So, here we consider P and N as two plate where it is reverse biased, and this is the depletion region, this is a two lead, and this is a reverse bias condition, that is what is negative, this is positive, and this is P is called as effective plate, and here N is also made effective plate, behave similar to the capacitor now, and the junction is exactly behave like a effective dielectric, that way how we observed in a capacitor. In between this there will be air or dielectric medium like paper or some mica which we can use in between these two plates. So, this is in a reverse bias mode now, and these two are plates, and this is the effective dielectric. The depletion region between the P type and N type region can be considered as an insulating medium, and thus it is exactly now the structure of this varactor diode will be similar to the capacitor that what we have made. So, now how we are going to observe the operations with the help of variable, that is reverse voltage across the capacitor. The size of the depletion region of diode changes with change in reverse bias. So, in previously we know that by controlling the voltage we can change the capacitance. So, how we are going to control the voltage, and how we are by changing the voltage, how we are going to get the variable capacitance. If the varactor diode reverse voltage is increased, then the depletion region size decrease. So, the depletion region size depends on the reverse voltage. If the reverse voltage increased, then the depletion region size decrease. So, here small reverse bias, high capacitance, this is another way. If having small reverse bias, in the sense it is having a depletion range, very less depletion region, and high capacitance will be there. Similarly, if the depletion region is large and it is having high reverse bias and also low capacitance, capacitance will be low here. So, from this we can observe higher the reverse bias, low there will be the capacitance. This can be drawn in the characteristics, we can observe from this where along the x and y axis we are drawn voltage across the capacitance. We are going to find as the voltage increases, as the high reverse voltage increases, capacitance value will be lowered. So, this will going to prove the concept of varactor diode. By controlling the voltage, that is reverse voltage, we can able to control the capacitance value. Similarly, we can observe if the varactor diode reverse voltage is decreased, then the depletion region size decrease, that is narrow down here, and the capacitance will be high. Hence, by varying the reverse bias voltage, we can able to control the capacitance value. So, some of the properties that we need to know about the varactor diode, that is that varactor diodes produces considerably less noise compared to other conventional diodes, and also these diodes are available at low cost, and varactor diodes are more reliable. The varactor diodes are small in size and hence they are very light in weight, and also there is no useful purpose of varactor diode when it is operated in forward bias. So, we studied with the operation working operation that varactor diode, when it works as a reverse bias only, we can consider it as a working as a capacitor. Exactly, a capacitor property can be applied when it is working as in a reverse bias. So, when it is work as a forward bias, it is of no use. Increases in reverse bias of varactor diode voltage decreases the capacitance. So when we are going to increase the varactor diode reverse voltage, the capacitor value decreases. We can say it is inversely proportional. Reverse voltage is inversely proportional to the capacitance value. So finally we come to the end of this session. In this session we started with the tunnel diode, which is now the special type of diode where the PN junction is heavily doped for operating as a tunnel diode, which is having tunnel diode current and also a normal diffusion current, and also it is not linear, where we also find the NDR, that is negative differential resistance, will be found in this type of diode. And also we come across another type of diode, that is LED, that is light emitting diode, where this type of PN junction is worked in a condition forward bias, and also this type of diode will be work as with the property of recombination, and this is due to the recombination the electrons from the valence band of n type material will going to fall on the conduction band of a p type material, will loses energy in the form of light. This will be called as this recombination property will be used in a light emitting diode. And finally we studied about another type of diode, that is varactor diode, which is very much useful in applications where we want very high range of capacitance is desirable. There we can use the variable capacitor varactor diode. Varactor diode is very much useful because it is having a property that it is operated in a reverse bias mode. Whenever the reverse voltage is increases, the capacitance value will be decreases. So by controlling the reverse voltage we can able to get the desired capacitance. So some of the questions are: explain the operation of tunnel diode, what is light emitting diode, explain the characteristics of varactor diode. So references are www.allaboutcircuits.com, www.circuitmagic.com, and the textbook references are Electronic Devices and Circuit Theory by Robert Boylsted and Louis Nashelski, Electronic Circuits and Devices by Alan Motorshed. This ends the session. Thank you.